The president has stated very clearly that there's an urgent need for this money and wants to see it done.
Well, how after printing trillions of dollars, taxpayers might want to know, is there not enough money to continue fighting the pandemic? Trillions of dollars. You're out of it? Is all the accounting done, every single dollar?
So we have the resources that we need in this current moment. What we need is this funding to be able to plan for the future, to prepare for, as I say, the possibility of a new variant, the possibility of a new wave. We don't want to be caught flat-footed. We currently have, for example, all of the vaccine supply that we need to vaccinate and boost every American. But what we need to have this money for is to prepare to be ready for the future. As we know, the virus can be unpredictable, and we need to be prepared. And there's an urgent need to do that.
Right, but can you see where taxpayers would be skeptical? I mean, trillions of dollars, and all of a sudden, billions more.
I think taxpayers want to be prepared for the virus, and they want to make sure that we have the resources that we need to keep them safe, and that's what this administration is focused on.
Going back to the COVID funding, I think it was your answer to Ed. I'm trying to read between the lines just a little bit, but you had said previously we asked for $22 billion as emergency funding that wouldn't need any offsets. Now we would like Congress to get us this money. Are you saying that you're willing to accept offsets? And also, are you willing to accept less than the $22 billion?
Well, what I would say is we have been very clear that we need this money now, and we're hopeful that Congress is nearing a solution. And again, the president called for this initial $22.5 billion as emergency funding. But at the end of the day, we need the money. It's important. It's critical for our preparedness for the next, the next phase of COVID and being prepared so that we're not caught flat-footed. So ultimately, we are hopeful that Congress is nearing a solution on this.
So we should take that as you're willing to accept the offsets.
You should take it as what I said, which is that we're hopeful that Congress is reaching a solution on this, and Congress will determine ultimately where we net out on this.
On COVID, can you help us understand, you guys have laid out sort of what happens if the money runs out that you're requesting. Can you remind us what, in the view of the White House, is the most urgent item on that list that runs the risk of not being funded? And Republicans again today are saying the money for this is there in previously passed legislation. There's one figure they're saying is $160 billion is there from the COVID relief bill. What is the White House response to that suggestion?
So firstly, this is funding that's going to be used to provide tests. It will fund additional vaccines. For example, as we were talking about yesterday, should there come a time where a fourth shot is recommended for the broader population. It will also fund life-saving treatments. And also our ability to additionally provide vaccines around the world, which is another piece of ensuring that the virus is not able to move around the globe. So this is critically important funding. The stakes are very real and very high. You have heard the president state this repeatedly, that this is critical in order for us to continue our progress. The other thing I would say about this funding is that it will allow us to prepare for the eventuality, the possibility, I shouldn't say eventuality, the possibility of another variant, another wave. It will give us the funding that we need to be prepared for the future. So it is critically urgent in that way. And I'm sorry, what was the second part of your question?
The idea that they say the money's already there, that there's unused funds from previously passed legislation.
So obviously, we initially proposed this as emergency funding, but we are working with the Congress. The Congress is working to get this done. The president's been very clear that it should get done. How the mechanism of finally coming to an agreement on this works out, we'll leave that to the Congress. But the president's been very clear that we need this funding and that it's urgent.